What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're just out in the garage with the Mongoose Ledge X2 bicycle. It still has the janky fork that came on the bike from Walmart is where I got this thing. It's like $185 on a sale. And so I put a Flipski 75-100 Pro V2 controller on it and a Bafang G900 750 watt rear hub motor. And I've been riding it around pretty much stock. I also put a different rear shock on it in D&M AOY 36RC is the rear shock, but otherwise this thing is basically just like a stock bike that I threw a controller and a motor on and turned into an e-bike. And so last year I started riding around on some mountain biking trails, and I realized that is something that I enjoy doing and I would like to continue getting into. And so you will hit the limits of these janky coil forks that come on these bikes very quickly. Like, I think usually, unless when you buy the lower end bike, like the fork, if it has a suspension fork, probably isn't going to be pretty good, right? And on most e-bikes, I would say that the suspension fork, unless you're buying like a kind of like a higher end e-bike with good components, most e-bikes don't really have good forks. Like, they just have a suspension fork for a little bit of suspension, but they're not always the greatest. But so yeah, we're gonna put a different fork on the bike here today. And so what I've got here is there's a deal going on. Oh, and I got this it's a SR Sun Tour. It's a RAIDON is what this one is called. And so this is just like a cross-country, this isn't like a downhill fork. Like, this isn't really an official, if you want like an official mountain biking downhill fork, they're quite expensive. Like, it's quite an investment, and that's part of why mountain bikes are so expensive. And so up until a few years ago, I hadn't really rode a bike at all since I was a kid, and I used to just ride BMX bikes without any brakes or any forks or anything, and I would just thrash around on a BMX bike, and that's kind of like how it worked for me. So I'm just kind of like taking baby steps, right? I'm just gonna try this thing out. It's so it's got a straight steer on it. It's not a tapered fork. It's not lost to me that most modern forks have a tapered steer tube, right? But they're also a little bit more expensive. This one just happened to be on sale. I'm probably gonna end up putting this on a different bike just for like riding around on streets and stuff. Like, I probably will upgrade from this fork eventually, but I like trying things incrementally just to kind of like upgrade and see how it feels and what it gives you, and then kind of reach the limitations of that. And then if I reach the limitations of this, we'll just get a different one, right? So it's got some kind of like a lockout up here. It's an air fork. The stanchions are aluminum, so this thing is really light. There's one thing that I noticed about this is it's like crazy light. And so I'm not always mountain biking. Like, I'm gonna use this bike for a lot of other things. It's kind of like a mixed usage bike. So, and then it's also a quick release. And it's not lost on me that most modern bikes have through axle wheels on them with through axle forks, but my wheels don't have through axles. And so, like, I just wanted to just upgrade a fork, try a better fork. I didn't really feel like building a new wheel with a through axle hub on it, but I mean, probably in the future I will do that. Okay, so like, we're just trying this one for now. It's got 32mm 6061 aluminum stanchions. I think the outers are magnesium, or the whichever part of it's magnesium. Oh, so we're gonna put the RAIDON on this bike and we're gonna try it out. So I think this one, I think the travel on this might be like 100mm or something. And I think this one is like 120. So I think it might be adding a little bit of travel and potentially lifting the bike up slightly here. Like, we'll just have to see. But I think it should look pretty cool on there. And I'm gonna feel a little bit more confident with this. It might not be like an actual downhill, you know, trail fork, but it should work pretty good. For starters, right? It's like it's not a complete piece of junk, and it's a lot more lightweight. And the main thing is like this thing is gonna be a lot quieter than that. Like if you go out mountain biking with one of these coil forks on these things, every time the front wheel goes up off the ground, the coil fork just rebounds instantly. It's like ka-kunk, and it sounds like a pogo stick is bouncing around the mountain biking trails, and you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. It's pretty embarrassing. So, and you will not be accepted mountain biking if you have one of these forks and you're out there pogo sticking around. So, like I would say like get some kind of a fork on your bike before you ever go mountain biking. Like I just like trying things just to see how it works, right? And it's sometimes funny and entertaining, right? But we're upgrading this now, so it's just kind of like hanging in. Oh, whoa, whoa. Well, it was just kind of hanging in there, but we dropped it all down on the ground like I told you not to. Hey, there's my headset where I put all the park tool grease in there. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're just out in River Falls. We're gonna go mountain biking. We're on the Mongoose Ledge X2 bicycle. It's got a Flipski 75-100 Pro V2 controller, and it has a Bafang G900 750 watt rear hub motor. I just put a Suntour RAIDON fork on the front of this bub. Check it out. So we're gonna go try this fork out here. We're at 55 volts. We've got 24 amp hours of 52 volts on this battery. It's 14S 6P Samsung 40T3 cells. Just cruising along. So one thing that I'm noticing, the first thing I noticed when I put this different fork on, is my bike is just a lot more quiet. I don't know what was going on with that other fork, but that thing was so rattly. Holy buckets. It had to have been rattling in like 20 different spots. I think there's still something going on with this Flipski key, and it's kind of like rattling internally. Or it might even be this little light thing or this reflector thing here. But man, this fork is so much quieter. It's incredible. So we're just closing in on the Whitetail Ridge mountain biking trails. We've got some cyclists ahead of us. A guy with his kid riding bikes around on this beautiful day. Here we are. What a day out here. Wow. Seems a lot quieter now that we put this fork on here. Excellent. Gear Falcon derailleur felt like it just fell apart there. Wow. All right, we're going up to BFH. There's a bobcat waiting at the entrance. Ooh.
Alright, here we go. There's a little bit of a jump. I think we can take it a little bit faster with this fork. Just going straight over the roots, no big deal. Whoa. We're going down the 8th hanger trail. So I like this fork a lot more. It's not as noisy. I blend in a little better. Now that I don't sound like a pogo stick bouncing around the trails. Now I just need a derailleur that can hold the chain on. There's kind of a limit to how fast I can go, or else my chain just goes flying off with this derailleur. Oh, we got some jumps. Oh, oh, much better. It feels so much better. Oh, oh, went off the side of that one. Wow. On there. Every time you hit a bump with this derailleur, the chain is just slapping all over. Oh! There's the telltale sound of the chain coming off. We're just throttle only up that. Oh! This might be a good moment for the thumbnail. If the AI editing is listening to me properly. It's kind of interesting that there's nobody out here at all that I can see riding around. They're all just kind of gossiping in the parking lot. Maybe they're all tuckered out and they don't have a motor. Oh! Ooh. Here's the BS downhill. Alright, we're just at the top of the north berm. We're gonna keep rolling along here. GoPro needed a new battery. It feels like there's a leaf stuck in my fork or something. What's going on here? What's going on? There we go. So motor's at 82 Celsius. Battery is at 53.7. We got this little log over here we can jump over. Here it comes, right over here. Oh man. That was a lot different than my other fork, but he lost the pedals there. Whoa. Test the fork on this jump here. Oh, feels a lot better. Alright, well that was fun. We're done at the Whitetail Ridge. Holy buckets. I am thirsty, buddy. Let's get this thing into gear. And we're gonna head, I don't know where we're heading. I've had a lot of coffee today. I think I have some water in my backpack. We can drink that. So this fork feels a lot better, bubs. And it's a lot quieter. Rough out there, less... Like I used to get pretty sore with that with the coil fork I came on this bike. That thing was crazy. That pogo stick thing. It was always just like bagunk, bagunk, bagunk. And people could hear you from like miles away on the trail. Hear Felk and always drops the chain. I can barely even feel these bumps with this fork. Feels a lot nicer. Let's see here. What is the plan? What time is it? I think we're at... It's 4:19. Drink some water from my backpack. Here we go. We're cruising now. Blowing on me. We're cooling down nicely. Never forget it. For this video, I'm probably going to cut this video here. We went out to Whitetail Ridge and tested this Suntour RAIDON fork out. It's working nicely. It looks like I must have bottomed it out at some point, because I see it traveled quite far. So I guess it's doing its job. Pressure seemed about right when I got it, so we're just cruising along, and still like half the battery left, so I'm probably just gonna charge it up, eat some dinner, and then maybe ride around a little bit later on tonight. So see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. See you next time on the E-Bike Builder channel. Peace out, bubs.